to the Whitest House. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of your poor and the way they mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the Whitest House, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
Welcome again. We are back. This is This Week in White Supremacy. I am one of your hosts, Sha'Carri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. I am joined by, to my immediate right, you want to introduce yourself, Miracle?
I'm Miracle, still the forgotten and abandoned one. But, I'm here making it through. And, back to you.
Fresh glasses, fresh frames on, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm feeling those.
You got to rebrand. You got to hit them up and just
that's what you got. Okay, you rebranded as a solo artist. You rebranded.
You got to rebuild by what's it called? Retail therapy. Yes,
that is hilarious. Is Farouk? Are you the Bobby Brown of this?
1,000%. 1,000%. Listen, Bobby Brown. Man, I love Bobby. We don't say nothing bad about Bobby on this show.
How about the helicopter?
Do you want to introduce yourself? Doug Levin? You got some Doug Levin.
Listen, that's one of my favorite videos. All I need is a stage, God.
No, come on. All right, so look, introduce yourself, and then
liberated and hated.
Real mixtape is dropping at midnight.
Miracle said she got the steppers coming through.
That's better than the revolutionary with going. I like that. Liberated but hated,
man.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. All right, my brother Nature. You know what I'm saying? Green locks in full effect.
Yeah, I'm saying Nature loves Shaheem. It's your boy Trouble NLS. Here to have some fun. Got the locks done. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, my man got the Menace from Society twist.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
He got the old dog. You got the little nature old dog going. So we want to get started. I mean, as always, it's mad white supremacy going on. But I think that the biggest story that kind of broke through was the Winter Olympics is going on. Like people probably don't know because nobody's really been watching the Winter Olympics. Nobody really cares about the Winter Olympics at this point. Nobody knows what times everything going. But shout out to, I think, Erin Jackson, black woman. She was the first black woman to win a gold medal in speed skating. Shout out to her, you know what I'm saying? Some black excellence off top. But there is a skater from Russia who is the favorite. Y'all know I'm going to butcher her name. So her name is Kamila. We just gonna call her Kamila if that's, I don't even know if that's the correct pronunciation, but she's 15 years old. She is the favorite in figure skating, but she was drug tested and found out that there was a banned substance in her system. That arranged, they had a meeting about it, and basically they determined that she does not need to be provisionally suspended ahead of a full investigation. It says they gave her a favorable decision because she was a minor. And it also said that it was that they were afraid that, not allowing her to compete would cause irreparable harm in the circumstances. So upon seeing that, our sister Sha'Carri Richardson, who was not treated the same by the Summer Olympics. We should know the story by now, but she had lost her mother. That traumatic experience caused her to self-medicate. She used marijuana, which is a banned substance, but not performance enhancing. I guess the Russian figure skater, whatever they found in her was performance enhancing. She, despite not being performance enhancing, she was banned, just outright. Was not allowed to come to the Olympics. There was no fear of anything causing her irreparable harm. And she kind of came out and basically said, what's the difference between me? She asked the question, right? Can somebody tell me the difference between me and this young woman, except for the fact that I'm black and she's white? And she brought up that we have never seen a black athlete allowed to have some performance enhancement and was allowed to continue. Is this just a clear case of black and white by the Olympic Committee that they wanted this 15-year-old Russian figure skater because she's, I guess, maybe the future of figure skating to be the face of this thing? Because they're saying that if she wins, if she's in the top 3, that they won't even have a medal ceremony, which is fascinating to me. Like, you're going to allow her to skate. If you're going to allow her to skate, go all out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, put the medal on, like, hand her a syringe, like, go all out. I mean, if you're going to allow her to participate, but like to say, like, if she's in the top 3, they won't even have, like, now if I beat this, you know, drugged up Russian figure skater, I lose because I won't even have a medal ceremony and I didn't even do anything wrong. That's wild to me, but that was what they decided to do. Is this just black and white simply?
Quick question. Did they take out the medal ceremony because they found drugs in her system?
Yes.
Or was that for something else?
No, they basically saying that because I guess she's tainted in a sense. I mean, they know she failed a drug test. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a banned substance. It was a performance enhancement stuff. It was like heart medication. So it's like, why would a 15-year-old need heart medication? That's kind of weird, right? And so I think, so they basically said, well, if she's in the top 3, we're just going to not have the medal ceremony, which is just so wild to me that if you work to get to the Olympics and you make it in the top 3 because she's in the top 3, you don't even get a medal ceremony. Like, I can't even see my flag raised to the Raptor. That's just such a wild thing. But is this, again, a case of white people bending over for other white people so white people can get a chance to get in? Or is, you know, Sha'Carri just, you know, is she just mad because she didn't get a chance to run?
No, I think it's clear black and white because, like, and I feel like the medal ceremony is bullshit. I feel like they just did that to kind of like, okay, since we punished Sha'Carri, let's try to have some punishment. We're not going to take her out of the Olympics, but we're going to give her something, which I think is just fucked up because it's still privileged. She still gets to actually partake in the, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't know.
And they actually say this is what their quote was: in the interest of fairness to all athletes, there will be no medal ceremony if she places in the top 3. How is that fair to the other athletes? That makes no sense.
This is my take on it. Like, the IOC,
you might want to sit up a little bit because you sounded like you far away, too far from the mic, brother. I don't know what's going on.
Hold on. Am I good? You hear me?
It's an echo, but you know, you probably have it set up to where, you know, you had a twin there with you, and since you don't have one, now you're kind of, you don't even know how to use the mic. Look at it. See what happens when you solo Saeed?
Man, you know, black women got the way. Jeez, man. But nah, so
until you do right by me.
Man, that didn't play well for me. You know, the IOC has always been super sometimey with judging and all of these things. Like, I know that the IOC said they grant leniency towards underage competitors. They have more rights against like, basically they have more ability to take drugs because they can be under the influence of their coaches and not really above their own volition. So the IOC kind of grants them a little bit more wiggle room than they would adult athletes. But to me, I think it's whack because performance enhancing drugs, I feel like they should be legal across the board except for in combat sports because it's entertainment at the end of the day. I think it should just be completely unmitigated and unchecked. It's entertainment at the end of the day. Like, I want to see these athletes do wild shit.
Yeah, but I think if you're 15,
well,
you don't want a 15-year-old taking something that could affect them for the rest of their life. And just I just did want to mention this. One, she's in first place right now.
Yeah, of course.
Right? She's in first place. It said the drug found in her system could help her train at a higher intensity. Mm-hmm. And basically, they said she could have tested positive because her grandfather takes the medication. Our cardiologist said that was highly unlikely that was the case. You know what I'm saying?
It was just like when Canelo said he got his steroids from eating meat from Mexico, right? You remember that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they found steroids in my blood because I ate beef that was raised in Mexico, and that's how. Whatever. But when you break it down to it, it's whack. It's black and white. You know, Sha'Carri. The thing is Sha'Carri had an opportunity that was stripped away from her. As an adult athlete, you only have X amount of Olympic games in you.
100%.
As a young 15-year-old, even though you kind of peak and you're done at 25 in figure skating, that's pretty much the cutoff age. She still has 2-3 more Olympic games left in her, right? This isn't fair to Sha'Carri, and I think that this is it's just another smear on the IOC. Another reason for an overhaul, or just a complete, detachment from a governing body, in my opinion.
Right. So just before I come to you, Miracle, the IOC reportedly responded to Sha'Carri, who said, "Can we get a solid answer on the difference of her situation and mine? My mother died and I can't run, and was also favored to place top 3. The only difference I see is I'm a black young lady." That was Sha'Carri's tweet. According to a spokesman from the IOC, he said, quote, "You can't talk about double standards in relation to Russia and American athletes. Each case is individual." Miracle, what's going on?
It's not an individualized situation, because if we're talking about that, there's also a past practice for Russia to send athletes who somehow allegedly take these performance enhancing drugs over, like, repeatedly. So even if you're talking about doing an individualized case, there is a high likelihood that a lot of these underage athletes from this particular region are going to be doping. But the IOC has continuously failed Black women, whether it's preventing Sha'Carri from running, whether it's saying that Black women from Africa are too masculine to run, are too like men, making Black women athletes go through all type of testing to prove like their gender, to prove that they're not producing testosterone, while also uplifting and celebrating Caucasian presenting athletes. And it has to be said, at the time Sha'Carri tested positive for marijuana, she was living in a jurisdiction, Oregon, that marijuana is legal. She took responsibility and accountability, and marijuana is not only not a performance enhancing drug, it's also a performance decreasing drug, right? And so the idea of a fair competition, individualized review, it doesn't make sense and it doesn't hold up. And this is ongoing, just not inside the IOC, but think about Barry Bonds and him not getting into like the Hall of Fame. This idea that we allow other athletes to have second chances, to get the benefit of the doubt. Right. But when they're Black, we continuously punish them and hold them to a higher standard. And I think that's what we're seeing at the Olympics, at a time when pretty much no one's watching the Olympics. China has these horrendous human rights violations, what's going on, allegations with I always say it wrong, but the Uyghur Muslims being detained. There's all these other allegations. We have this whole entire Cold War restarting. So the Olympic Committee needed everyone to run and to play. So the idea that it's entertainment, it is entertainment until it's Black people that are trying to do the entertaining, and then it's an issue.
No, 100% right. And I think like when you talk about, these double standards, and how oftentimes, like you said, Black athletes are considered, more athletic, and so, you want to scrutinize us more. And like you said, Russia's history is so bad in terms of people like utilizing illegal drugs that they're not even called Russia. Like they had to actually like change the name of the Olympic team because they had this history. But it's interesting because when you mention double standards in athletes, it made me think about what we kind of saw play out in the Super Bowl, particularly really before the Super Bowl with Cam Newton and with Joe Burrow, right? And it's kind of like how the different things play out. Joe Burrow is the quarterback. If you're not a sports fan and you missed the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow was the starting quarterback, and everybody was talking about how cool Joe Burrow was. And Joe Burrow, I don't know if you can grab that. I sent you that link, John. If you can grab that picture of what Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. And a lot of people began to compare the response to Joe Burrow being cool to the response that Cam Newton a black quarterback who also got his team to the Super Bowl and lost like Joe Burrow did. But Cam Newton got so much more vitriol as a black athlete of being arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Like how he was dressing. Yeah, you can bring up that picture of Joe Burrow, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's cool." Oh, Joe Burrow talked about that was one of the. I don't know if you can really see that, but that was Joe Burrow. He got his fedora on. He had like a super striped suit. You know what I'm saying? And people were actually talking about like he's transcending race in the way he's carrying himself. He also made a statement before the Super Bowl where they asked him, he had a Nike chain on, and they were like, "Hey, are your diamonds real?" Yes, yeah, there we go.
I mean, it's not even that good of an outfit to begin with.
No, it's not. But it's just, when you see it, it was a statement made where I guess he had a diamond chain on, and they were like, "Oh, those diamonds real." He was like, "I make too much money for my diamonds not to be real." And it's like there was no.
Yeah, they laughed. It was they loved that. They ate that up.
Right. It was considered funny. Did you all have any comments about? I think it just plays into that double standard, right? That like if you're white, you can get away with all of these different things. Of course, we're in a white supremacist society, and so you get that leeway. But if you're black, you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden you're arrogant, you're talking too much. They crushed Sha'Carri Richardson. She should have known better. What's wrong with her? Like, she got shot no bail from a majority of these white sports fans. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I was going to say, so I was just watching, what is it called? The Godfather of Harlem. Yes. And there is a scene where he was talking to Muhammad Ali, and Ali says some real shit about, if I know I'm great, why do I have to hide it? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that plays to this idea that like whenever we come out trying to flex, trying to, look and feel good, they have a problem with that because for some reason it's almost like they look at us as a threat. But when they see their own, it's like, oh, he's transcending race. It's like, what? Why white people always transcending race when they copy off black people?
I don't understand. I thought race is a social construct, so why does he need to?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like, why? Me personally, I missed that narrative. Like, I heard everything else except for him transcending race thing, but I got nothing, man. Shit is corny. It's whack.
Yeah, I mean, we also got to think about like Cam Newton was just caught a distraction just last season for just warming up to hip hop music, right? He was out of a job because he was too extra to lead a football organization. Yet here comes Joe Burrow doing the same thing. And there are people who are literally retweeting different tweets of people who are literally condemning Cam Newton, but praising Joe Burrow, like the various sports outlets and organizations. And it's not just that he gets to dress fly and flashy. He doesn't have this narrative that he should be grateful for being there. Like he should be humble and not display his artistic, beliefs. Now, granted, like Harden is making me really think about how out there we would like our athletes to be, right?
James Harden, wild.
Russell Westbrook have some outfits too.
Yeah,
some wild ones.
But are we gonna talk about Cam not trying to recover a fumble in the Super Bowl, or are we just gonna let that slide?
Man, bro, that's a long time ago.
First of all,
it was the Super Bowl.
What we're not going to do is talk about Cam, the chosen one who was out here living his best self, trying to reclaim Black History Month because it has been an absolute disaster. Doing his own podcast and making moves. Cam did what he had to do. He cannot throw, run, catch the ball. He's a person of one.
He can't. Okay. He wasn't on the offensive line. I mean, he couldn't block. I mean, the dude was an MVP. He was the best player in the league that year. Did he have a good Super Bowl? No, neither did Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? And, but it's funny because people said, oh, Carolina will be back, and they never was, and it'll be interesting to see. But, I mean, there was a Super Bowl. I don't know if people turned into the Super Bowl, but there was a lot of people that turned into the halftime show. But was this the blackest halftime show ever? Probably, right? Just in the number of Black people that were there, because we had Dre, we had Snoop,
Checkers,
we had Mary J, we had Kendrick, we had 50 Cent popped up, you know what I'm saying? Anderson .Paak was on the drums. You know what I'm saying? Like we had all the dancers.
As a fan, I felt some type of way, and I know he's 1,000% responsible for it. But I felt the way that the game wasn't there.
Where? Bro, we're not gonna get. I mean, okay, so since we're gonna make this a hip hop podcast.
He's the reason he wasn't there.
Tell me, Farouk, what song
Hated or Love It
perform?
Hated or Love It.
Okay, so Hated or Love It.
This is how we do.
Hey, neither of those songs are bigger than any other song. Like he just don't have.
Hated or Love It
was not bigger than
close to going diamond.
Bro, Hated or Love It was not bigger than any song Mary J. Blige did, Eminem did, Kendrick. It wasn't bigger than those songs. It was not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a great song. I like the song. This is how we do great songs. But come on, bro. He's not big enough. That's just the reality. Like,
he got 4 platinum albums.
Bro, 50 Cent, that in the club probably went, 20 times. That was one of the biggest songs that year.
I'm not saying
there's
I'm
no
not saying
year.
you're not. I'm not saying I'm
Hey,
not.
bro,
I'm not.
there's
debating.
no
I'm just
year.
saying,
Okay, there is no year.
You could have had Game come out and do this is how we do.
No. There's no year that Game has been the biggest hip hop artist in the game. No year. But Dre's been the biggest.
When the documentary went double platinum?
There's no year. He's never been the biggest hip hop artist of that.
Yeah, me and my homies don't talk about the Game.
Never.
Fact check that. Fact check that.
Yes, Kendrick biggest, Dre biggest, Snoop biggest, Mary J. Blige,
brother, I'm telling you.
Eminem biggest. So he just don't have 50 Cent when he came out the biggest.
Bro,
you know, don't have it.
His first album went double platinum. He was the highest selling artist that year.
Okay,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Look at the sales of all the people on the thing. They all went more than double platinum, bro. Double platinum ain't the ceiling, homie.
It's not, but the ceiling for the Super Bowl. The Game wasn't responsible for resurrecting the West Coast. He brought the West Coast.
This is the Super Bowl, bro. This is Britney Spears. This is Prince. This is Michael Jackson.
That's what I'm saying,
though. No one ever said Michael Jackson, Prince, and the Game.
No.
Oh, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Prince.
Bro.
And the no one ever will, bro.
It made it look like here's the thing.
He's not big enough. He can rap. He's a good artist.
I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about he sold more records than you make it out that he did it.
A big enough artist. He's Rick Ross. He's 2 Chainz. He is not Kanye, bro. He's not a big enough artist. He's lower tier.
This is how all of Atlanta felt when Maroon 5 played the Atlanta Super Bowl, and we were like, "There is no Atlanta connections to this performance." This is how we felt.
I thought Big Boy came out and did a verse.
They had the pre-Super Bowl weekends.
So question: was Beyonce's blacker than?
We not about to do the King Michael Jackson. We not about to forget. Like we can maybe do like
who had the blackest because
Michael Jackson, Prince.
Beyonce was the blackest. She did put the X on
in modern and maybe in modern times, but I don't think nobody's.
I'm trying to remember exactly what her Super Bowl set looked like. Was that
Beyonce? They lost their mind.
But that wasn't even her. That was Bruno Mars's actual performance, and he brought out Beyonce, and then no one remembered a thing that he did. I feel bad for the dude. Like Beyonce came out and everybody was like, that Beyonce show. And it was actually Bruno Mars's set, and he brought Beyonce out. But anyway, not to, I know me and Farouk kind of went off to that was actually the thing that I said I meant to ask you about. There's no way the Game should have been on that stage. But
in 2004,
hold up. This nigga is Googling. This is This Week in White Supremacy. We'll take this to IG.
All I'm telling you is he was the biggest selling hip hop act in 2005 when his album came out. He almost went triple platinum. That means he was the largest selling artist that year.
Hey,
don't he and 50 have beef?
No, they cool now.
But that doesn't even matter. Like 50 Cent is so much bigger of an artist. 50 Cent has sold way more records than the Game. Way more. Everybody has way more than the Game.
No one
said he terrorized hip hop. He's not about to let nobody he's ever been at odds with. Shine on his stage with him.
Hey, Miracle, I love the documentary. I love documentary 2. Hope there's a documentary 3. He's not big enough. You know what I'm saying? It's just he's not big enough. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, for the artists that were big enough to be there.
What
do we want to talk about
the
first? We want to
walking
talk
dancers.
about the fact that let's talk about, so white people lost their mind. Do you have those clips or those tweets? White people obviously were very angry that they had to look at, and it's wild because the NFL is 70% black, right? So most of the players that they're watching play the game are black, right? Most defenses are 100% black. Now, if you look at like starting defenses, most of them are all black. There's like, maybe one or two black people on the defense. And so, but unfortunately, like, white people had to face this rap, a halftime show, and they kind of lost their mind. Do you have those tweets you can pull up, John?
Was this their rapture?
You stole Farouk's off his Solo Saheed is off his game, man. We need him.
No, I'm over here.
Yeah, he's still sick about the game for
I'm over here Googling the numbers.
Run down the
after
numbers,
this show,
the play-by-play
after
of
this
the game's whole discography.
Look, after this show, we're going to get on IG Live and we are going to debate the game should have been at the Super Bowl. There's no way. And I have no facts. I'm Googling nothing. He shouldn't have been.
I think you could make an argument that the game is more popular numerically than Mary J. Blige, and you can maybe go in that way.
You 1,000% could say that because they made it look like Dre discovered Mary J. Blige, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
I emailed them to you. I emailed them to production at One Hood. John, I don't know. You didn't get those tweets,
but the funniest thing for me about the Super Bowl performance was like how everyone was trying to say that this was a protest performance.
How? Who were they protesting? Like
Eminem took a knee. Kendrick said 4 words. Dre said, "We still not loving the police."
Wait, what did Kendrick say?
They made Kendrick change his lyrics.
Right. I know Kendrick did not say, "And I hate Popo."
Well, they bleeped that out. They censored that.
Oh, I thought they said Kendrick did not say, and
no, he said
they told him he could not say it.
No,
so depending on how you watch the Super Bowl, you saw and heard things differently. So I think like some of the local did mute some of the words, right. And then some people didn't. So I know, like, if you're watching YouTube,
what words, what protest words did Kendrick
they hate Popo, they kill us in the street for show. That was still said, but some places didn't hear it.
Okay. Yeah, like that was but what they made him take out though was if Pyrus and Crips all got along, we'd probably be they made him take that out. So that was taken out of the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but the rest of it, was cool. I thought I read, there was an article, was the Super Bowl performance a missed opportunity? But here's just the question I have. It's like Dre is in the middle of a divorce and he has $1 billion deal with Apple. What did you want Dr. Dre to come up there and do? Like the moment Dr. Dre, here's the thing. The moment Dr. Dre takes a political stance on there, a la NWA all over again, someone's going to go back and say, yo, he slapped D Barnes.
Well, I mean, but they were saying that anyway. Shout out to D Barnes.
Large up D Barnes, yeah.
Shout out to D Barnes, because I mean
they got over that, but they would bring that back up. That's what I'm saying.
But so what? I mean, you got $1 billion. So what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like this performance made any of these artists. You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem took a knee and people was like, one clap, right? Oh, you took a knee, but you still performed. You still provided entertainment for this, not this racist league that is being sued right now. You know what I'm saying? And so, who cares that you took a knee? Like you said still not loving police. I mean, who loves the police? Oh no, this is like, let's wait. We're not on this yet. But take that down real quick, John. We're not on that yet.
No trigger warning on that.
Yeah, trigger warning on that. So I think that's the thing, like, the protest would have been kind of like Virginia said, like not coming. You know what I'm saying? Or saying like, nah, like you said, we're not going to do this. We're going to stand with Colin Kaepernick or whatever. That would have been the protest. Not, if you're going to get up there, like you said, Eminem took a knee. It was cute. You know what I'm saying? But, what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean?
I mean, there are things that they could have done. They could have invited the families by police brutality.
Right. That's
They
did
could have
Beyonce do
had,
that?
number 7 stitched through on their clothes. They could have had different demands. They could have had the dancers have different people's names impacted by.
But Miracle, would that have been? I think that's what people were saying about, kind of like what Farouk said, that article. It was like, okay, you kneeled. That's performative, right? So if they would have, somebody would have worn a 7 jersey, isn't that performative?
No, you're performing because this was supposed to be the racial healing equity performance. You're there because we're playing chess, not checkers, and making the NFL address social justice issues. You could have partnered with social justice organizations. You could have made sure the NFL highlighted different things. I get you paid $7 million to be there, but you could have made it count a little bit more. Hip hop is at its essence protest music.
I agree.
It is talking about the realities of our lives. And so the fact that Eminem had to be down on his knee for like a whole minute and no one said anything, there was no Black Power fist. I mean, they had people dressing up and in the regalia of the Rams. They could have had somebody dressing up as the Black Panthers again. There's so many things they could have done to make it even more performative instead of dropping that, they told Snoop he couldn't say he was a Crip, so now Snoop has a little dash of yellow on his bandana.
No, but Snoop threw the C's up. I mean, I think that goes to what Farouk said, right? Because Beyonce did, she had the Black Panthers and they attacked her. Remember, when
she
Beyonce
wasn't advocating for a racial justice performance. But
she was attacked though. Remember, they were talking about boycotting her. They came at her really. All the police unions attacked her.
Beyonce's performance.
Jay-Z picked this Super Bowl performance as a means of racial reconciliation. It had a specific theme. Beyonce was like, I'm Black, we have formation, and we're going to get there. There was an expectation, even I would say more so, understanding that if something were to occur at this Super Bowl, it would have already been in line with what. That was the time to be as performative as possible.
I agree, and
they even shout out Nipsey, which also I thought was very weird.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true, and I'm gonna come to you, Farouk. The Rams did come out to Nipsey. They came out of the tunnel to Nipsey, but you're right in the sense of Beyonce's performance was also because it was in the Bay Area, because it was in San Francisco. And I believe it was the 50th. It was an anniversary. It was the anniversary of the Black Panthers, and so she shouted those out. So she did, and that was before Rock Nation had anything to do with the Super Bowl. Like I said, and I think maybe because it was Bruno Mars' set, she had a little bit more leeway. But you're 100% right. Now, this was carefully curated. I'm gonna come to you, Farouk, and then I'm gonna come to my brother Nature.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know what you expected from it. Like personally, I didn't see
the music. I got 50.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great performance. I wasn't expecting Snoop and Dre to kind of coalesce. And we had said it on the show before that if anybody was gonna do something political, it was gonna be Eminem. We had said that he was the only one that was gonna be able to pull it off. Whatever that looked like, whatever that gesture or action or disruptive piece was going to be, Eminem was going to have to be the one to do it because he's white and he's the only one that really could. I'd say Dre could, and Snoop to probably a lesser effect, sustain all of the wounds in that backlash. Because what are you going to do to Eminem in the public that hasn't already been done to him? Right. You know what I mean? So he's kind of impervious to any type of media attack or assault that would have befallen him. Dr. Dre has a lot.
He has white privilege.
Exactly. He has white privilege. You know what I mean? Thank you for just making that more succinct. But at the end of the day, to quote my illustrious twin, you still my twin. There we go. At the end of the day, it was a dope hip hop performance at the Super Bowl. We had a great performance. Really and truly, that might have been the illest shit ever since Michael Jackson. We're gonna keep it tall. Beyonce, Michael Jackson, and The Weeknd.
Hey, bro, don't try to throw Canada up in there. They nobody like The Weeknd's
Prince?
It was incredible.
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Right. Nobody's beating Prince. doing Purple Rain in the rain.
I don't even
Nobody's
put
beating
Prince.
that.
I don't even.
That is number
Prince
one.
is so good that I don't even qualify it.
That's number one. So you're saying like, right, the bottom tier. I don't know if I put The Weeknd up in there though, bro.
The Weeknd was incredible.
Okay, Canada. All right, so
this nigga just lived like all he just want to do is hate today. Like he put on his let me be great hate sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm liberated but hated, brother.
Yo, he drank all his haterade this morning.
Liberated the hater. Sha, what did you think of the halftime show? And was there a missed opportunity, like Farouk said?
Yeah, I actually didn't watch the halftime show.
Oh, come on. You about to get kicked off the show.
I mean, hey, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
With you.
But, you know, unlike my other black folk, I was actually boycotting the Super Bowl. Yes. So I didn't watch at all. I was over there watching, what was it? Fucking The Godfather of Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. You was getting your guys going.
It was all about Euphoria.
Thank you, Trouble. Right.
I just started watching Euphoria.
Yeah.
I just started watching.
I'm with Cap, so I didn't watch it either. I saw recaps on Twitter.
Yes, yeah. Because you can go on YouTube and just watch the halftime show. You don't have to watch the show. I did watch the game, you know what I'm saying? I apologize to both you and Miracle.
I watched it. I ain't apologize.
Don't apologize to me, apologize to Kaepernick. Look at that light-skinned man in his eyes and apologize.
Listen, I would ask Colin if Colin Kaepernick walked in right now, I'd be like, yo, did you watch the game?
I mean, he plays football, but so it's wild.
I mean, I will say I do fuck with the fact that there was hip hop. It was
the Super Bowl that Kaepernick was the quarterback. That when Beyonce performed the first time and all electricity went out, that was actually when Kaepernick was the quarterback. So it's ironic that happened at the same time. You were saying some Trouble. I cut you off.
Yeah, I was saying I won't lie. I do appreciate the fact that it was a hip hop set. You know what I'm saying? And like I was trying to avoid saying this, but it's like they brought the niggas out. I don't know what's so funny.
What's so funny is somebody said I look like John Legend with the beard. You know, all light skinned people don't look alike. All right, you don't have to find.
We're just ordinary people, bro.
Trouble got the pun crown. Man. I look like my mom, all right.
You do. You really do.
So white people were mad. Obviously, like you said, Trouble. Guess what? When you said they brought the niggas out, that's what white people were saying on Twitter, right? Who are these niggas? They brought the niggas out. You want to pull some of those tweets up, John? This was one of them. This guy, I guess, calls right trigger warning. White people about to be racist. This was one of. I guess this guy is Trump's self-proclaimed favorite artist. Ted Nugent, Kid Rock, and Lee Greenwood will put on a better halftime show than these hoodlums. I guess they're hoodlums because they're rappers. Ironically, both Ted Nugent and Kid Rock both have songs celebrating being with underage women.
Not only that, I fucking hate Kid Rock, bro.
He's a bum ass, fuck that dude.
Yo, man, you started off as a break dancer. And Too Short put you on.
Yeah.
But
kind of what Miracle talked about last week, right? You start off with the black people and then you cross over and then you say, fuck everything black. You know what I'm saying?
Before we go to the next slide, tell me you remember when they were doing an MTV event where Kid Rock was backstage and it was no black people in sight. Kid Rock was talking to Carson Daly. He was like, yo, come on, my nigga. On live television talking to Carson Daly. It's like 2004.
I do not remember that. But like, of course you're gonna do that when ain't no black people around. That's when Joe Rogan was doing it, right? When no black people around. So what was the second tweet, John? The NFL is now the league of sexual anarchy.
That's bold.
Like, did you say anything sexual about the performance? It was Dr. Dre and Snoop. What the hell?
The sexualization of black bodies never fails.
What was sexual about it? Mary J. Blige had on some high boots. I mean, what? I don't
even
even
on her Auntie Mary outfit that she's been wearing for the past 25 years.
And that's what makes no sense about sexual. But just like you said, as soon as you see a bunch of black people, it's like that thing of like if four of us are on the corner, all of a sudden like the police got to come up and these white people see too many black people.
Sexual
and it's like
anarchy.
Sexual anarchy.
I kind of want to see what that looks like in real life. I'm
Well,
curious.
I thought that was what Euphoria was about. I don't know.
Man, the first 2 episodes, I'm like, wow.
Wait.
That's the
I was like, yo.
Maybe he was watching the wrong. Maybe he was watching Euphoria and thought he was watching the.
Man, yeah, I was not prepared for what I see.
Right. And then this is the trigger warning. What did this guy say? He said, "Sad the NFL has degraded to nigger crap." And it's like, again, you know, the players are mostly black. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stars are black.
What was his name?
I don't know. What's his tweet name?
He's like a historian or something.
He got a rap. He got a rapper Twitter name. Truth Hurts.
Man, remember Truth Hurts? She was dope. She was dope.
She was dope. That was another thing that Dre. Maybe she should have came out perform at halftime, right? I'm sorry.
But I will say the game does agree with you that he should have been at that halftime.
I know he does. I know, but we're gonna keep it tall. He's the reason he's not on the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right, because he didn't sell enough records. So, Miracle, I do have a question for you. Because we have one last NFL tidbit that came out today, right? That the
I don't
NFL
know to do with this. The South has nothing to do with this. This is
no. The NFL has chosen a legal representative for their lawsuit.
I did see this
against Brian Flores.
This is a violation of Black History Month rules. I don't make them, but it's just like
they chose
white supremacy. Like, this has been the worst Black History Month to ever Black History Month.
Right. So for those that don't know, Loretta Lynch, who is a black woman who was part of Obama's, inner circle, she is defending the NFL against this lawsuit of racial discrimination. And I wanted to come to you, Miracle, because you are a lawyer. Like, people were mad because they're like, you're a lawyer. You could have chosen what cases you will or won't take. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's Black History Month. This brother risked his whole career to show what we know is the truth, that there are discriminatory hiring practices in the NFL. Does the Loretta Lynch get our Terry Crews or
but she Ben should have had it, because you got to think about Larry.
I didn't know her history. What's her history?
Loretta Lynch and Eric Holder both had opportunities to investigate, to prosecute all of these police officers, all of these police agencies as attorney generals, and refused to do so because of process and understanding and engagement. So part of it is on brand that she would go and protect a corporation that harms Black people and doesn't see Black people as human, because when it was her role and responsibility to advance civil rights, she failed to do so. Sorry to bore you. But at the same time, it is Black History Month, and she could have just waited 3 weeks. She didn't have to tell us this week. Like, we just needed all the Black happiness we could get, and she just absolute failure and trash. And again, they're doing it because there will be Black people who will willingly sell themselves to worship at the feet and alter white supremacy all the time. That's why we have our Terry Cruzes. But at the end of the day, she's advancing a corporation because she wants to advance her career. If that means allowing these racist hiring practices to go on, she's going to fight for that. And we have to be very honest. Black men are capable of coaching teams. We saw from the Super Bowl, I believe it was an offensive coordinator.
The Rams defensive coordinator was Black.
Somebody who was telling people to do something was Black. And the past, I think, 5 Super Bowls, I watched Shannon Sharp on First Takes, so I'm getting all of my knowledge from. I believe the last 5 Super Bowls have had Black coaches, coordinators, whatever, and winning, and they're not getting jobs. So we know that there is racism afoot, and the fact that she would stake her name and reputation to allow that to go on is very disappointing. But it's very on brand for these boomers.
Absolutely. And if you all missed the game, which you did because you all boycotted, but it was the defensive coordinator for the Rams, Raheem Morris. It was his adjustments at halftime that really won the Rams that game.
And
Similar to,
Aaron Donald.
Of course, and Aaron Donald. Shout out Pittsburgh stand-up. Aaron Donald played amazing. But similarly to how last year, Todd Bowles and his defense, beat the quote-unquote best quarterback of the league at that time. Last year, the coach had 3 coordinators. All 3 major positions were black. None of them got coaching jobs. And so just to touch on, your point, Miracle, is 100% correct, my brother Saeed.
But I was, Loretta Lynch's opening arguments against Brian Flores was probably gonna be like, nigga, how many niggas did you coach? How can the NFL be racist? That's gonna be her opening argument, right? Nigga, how many niggas you coach? Right? We can't be racist. We can't be. Nigga, you was coaching niggas.
I think that's a part of but that's the thing. It's not about the players. We obviously realize that there are a majority black players. It's about not just the coaches, but also like the administrative. If you watched, the media, there's a black NFL reporter named Jim Trotter who asked Roger Goodell directly about even the NFL media. As all the upper echelon people are white. He asked them about the owners are white. Supposedly the NFL is trying to beg the brother. I don't know. He's the brother. I forget his name. I think his name's Robert Green. He paid everybody's loans at Morehouse and Spillman a few years ago. They're supposedly begging him to buy the Denver Broncos so they can have black ownership. A lot of people believe Jay-Z's inroads into the NFL is about him getting ownership of a team. It's not even just the coaches. It's all the upper echelon decision making of the NFL is white. But you did bring up a good point, Miracle, about black people doing things and carrying water for white supremacy, because our other Terry Crews of the week would be, again, and this brother has been on a roll. Like, I don't know.
Oh, please let me introduce him. Please let me.
Yes, please go ahead. Introduce this brother, Saeed.
Yo, John, give me some screen time, please.
We have the interpreters, brother. So
that's right. I'm sorry.
We just have to turn our cameras off, and then only.
I forgot.
The
MJ we would just turn our cameras off. Should we do that?
There we go. New York City has elected somebody, right, as some Harvey Dent type figure that they were expecting him to be, this beacon of justice, liberating New York City from the underworld of these young black and brown children who are running rampant throughout the 5 boroughs, creating mayhem. And hoe-ass Eric Adams is his name. And he's been out here caping for white supremacy, going so far as to blame drill music, the rappers. When we heard that before, right? That we blame rappers for the rise in crime. We've been hearing this. You got the most well-funded police department in the world, and you blaming rappers for you got a police department with a budget that's larger than some first world countries' gross national income. And you blaming rappers? What's that? What do you look like as the mayor blaming rappers?
It's wild because everybody at the Super Bowl that rapped at halftime at one point was blamed for violence, right? They blamed NWA for violence. They blamed Snoop for violence. They blamed 50 Cent for violence. You know what I'm saying? Except Mary J and Eminem. You know what I'm saying? But you're absolutely right. And for those that don't know, the mayor of New York,
Eric Adams.
Eric Adams came out and said that he wanted to talk to social media about banning drill rap music from all social media platforms. He actually said, we banned Trump from Twitter for his language. We should be banning drill rap from social media for its language. And so, of course, the farcity of it, I think you said it right, Farouk. You have the biggest and most well-funded police department in the world, and it's but you have to ban drill music or rap, as if we ban drill music and rap music tomorrow, all of a sudden the violence will stop because we don't have anything to listen to. But it's a tired and played argument, but it It hurts when it's a black person that's making it, because then white people look at it and give it more validity because this is a black person that wants to eliminate th's voices.
It's just a question I want to ask. And when I deal with people on that side, like, as you do too, but like the question I want to ask is like, are you blaming The Godfather? Are you blaming The Sopranos?
No.
Are you blaming all of these so-called iconic mobster movies, Casino, Goodfellas, with these very visceral and vivid images of violence? I just channeled Al Sharpton right there, and I did not even mean to, right? But like, how did, like, where's the blame on that part of it, right? The thing is, it's like you upset at people speaking out about the issues. You're not talking about.
It's the same mentality of somebody that says, "Oh, this school shooting happened. It's because the video games are violent."
Right.
It's like you're trying to. It's what politicians do, right? You don't, because to really address like people like how real feelings of poverty, of desperation, of hopelessness, right? That this society creates is like to really address. You have to start at like the structural inequality of wealth. And one of the places that you see it play out more than any place else is New York. You literally have Wall Street in New York. You have, some of the wealthiest neighborhoods, and then you have some of the poorest neighborhoods right next to one another. And you don't want to do anything about the possibly redistributing that wealth. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
Collectively, you don't want to do that.
The Bronx is a third world country. Go to the Bronx. Right? If you want to talk about wealth inequality,
because some places in the Bronx are being gentrified.
Yeah, I mean like White Plains and all that. But yeah, like I'm talking like you go to go by like Pelham, right? You know what I mean? Go where they shot the Joker.
Right. Go to East New York. Go to Brownsville.
I'll say Brownsville, right? Go to Jamaica Avenue, right? Go to Staten Island and look at the inequalities of, you know what I mean? Go to New Brighton.
But he doesn't want it because, he's not beholden in his mind. He's not beholden to these people because, they didn't fund his campaign. You know what I'm saying? I did want to, Miracle, did you want to hop in? What are your thoughts on Eric Adams saying he wants to ban drill music from social media? And then I'll come to you, Sha.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting we're talking about third world countries, because when we're looking at the global south, we're looking at intentional disinvestment and destruction and chaos by failed public policy. Instead of saying, you know what, I see that there's violence going on, I am going to say I'm immediately injecting $20 million to do mental health, to do conflict mediation immediately, 24-hour, 24/7 hub. If you're pissed off, you feel disrespected, come work out, come talk to a therapist, instead of saying, you know what, I'm requiring every single city department to hire at least 20% of Black men in New York, because we understand that unemployment is a common theme around some of these men going to Rikers. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to go out here and talk to these individuals, he just defaults to criminalization and mass policing. He is a cop, right? And we keep saying policing does not save us, incarceration does not keep us safe. And no matter how much you fund occupiers, they're not going to stop the violence in our communities until you invest in our communities. That is the issue. And so when we're talking about drill music, we got also think about the most violent music is country music. Nobody talks about that. Like, they talk about shooting their wives, killing their husbands, giving them arsenic and lead. Some of the most famous songs are about killing each other. But in a country music, we just see that as being country. When I was talking with someone and they were like, yeah, I was out here and there was a road rage incident. People were out shooting, or me and my friends go bored and we just go out in the backyard and start shooting stuff. We don't call that violence. We just call that country. We just call that people being Southern. But when we're talking about actually doing interventions that use the social determinants of health to stop violence, we know what works when we look at the suburbs, where there is healthcare on every corner, where there are therapists all throughout the schools and high schools where there is clean air, clean water, clean energy, where people are not being poisoned by lead in their water and lead in the paint in their house that leads to aggression. And so what we need is a mayor to sit there and say, you know what, I'm not doing the 1990s super predator bullshit.
Rudy.
I'm going to do as a Black man, say you elected me to this position. I'm going to fight for the Black men of the city because I want us to be safe, and I'm going to do it by investing in you. That's what he could have done, but he fails to do.
100%. Trouble?
Yeah, I just think it's wild how he saw the issue of rising violence and was like, you know what? Let me try and disenfranchise these Black men even more. You know what I'm saying? Let me get their music removed off of social media so they can't make no money, so that they keep on doing the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I kind of feel for his son, because now his son looks like an op. You know what I'm saying? His son sent him the music, and instead of being like, oh, this is pretty cool, man, he's like, you know what? This should be banned, just like Trump. Thank you for sending me this, son.
But you know,
he did make it sound like the ops. But then I think it goes back, like you said, like, you know, it's frustrating because, like Miracle said, you're the actual mayor. Like, you actually have the power to change what's taking place in these neighborhoods. And we all know, right, to say it for the 100th time, more police does not equal less violence, right? The safest communities are not the communities that have the most police. The safest communities are the communities with the most resources. In fact, oftentimes, if you're in one of these safe communities, they don't even have a police department there because they don't need a police department there, because they actually have resources in those communities, right? They have even, you know, so I think that's said. And it's like, Eric Adams, if you got to be the mayor of New York, you should know this. You should know that violence is a part of the violence of poverty, the violence of failed schools, the violence of lack of affordable housing, the violence of food insecurity and food desert. You should know that violence is a byproduct of all of these other, the violence of white supremacy, you know, and being denied opportunities because of how you look. And if you don't know that, and if you want to go back, like you said, to these same failed policies, failed talk, failed ideology, then you should go take another job. You're not qualified to be the mayor of New York, and you're definitely not qualified to be a quote unquote Black leader. Now, coming to you, Saeed, because he met with a group of rappers, including Fabio Foreign, who's probably the most well-known drill rapper in New York City at this time, you know, since Pop Smoke's passing. He also met with Mano, who's an older brother, and supposedly they're going to roll something out. I don't know what, but you know, but it's, you know, what do you think, if anything, will come from this meeting?
I mean, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine who was involved with setting that meeting up, reluctantly. And, you know, she had said that they were taken advantage of. And, you know, this is an opportunity for the mayor to say, oh, look, I'm hip. You know, I'm with Mano and I'm with Fabio Foreign. You know, like, you know, Fabi had a good reason to be there. Mano had a good reason to be there. And this isn't to say that they were there just for optics sake, because Fabi actually has a real message. Fabi is actually, you know, really wants this dialogue to happen in a way that's conducive for the culture, right? Mano on the same thing. And it is, but you know, with the mayor's office and their part and parcel with the NYPD, to them it looks like, oh, we did our job. We brought Fabio and Mano in so the people can see we're cool, we're together, the problems are solved, right? There's no beef. It was, you know, it was anemic. It was anemic and it was self-serving. Whatever this rollout looks like in the future, you can only expect it. Like, who are you talking to? Like, are you expecting the youth to listen to you? Like, who's this rollout really going to service at the end of the day?
Right. And we don't see, I think another piece, and this is the piece, you know, I do a lot of conversations about hip hop. There were no executives at that meeting. Lucian Grange wasn't at that meeting. Who's the biggest rap executive, who's an old white man, Sir Lucian Grange, who runs Universal Music Group. Leor Cohen wasn't at the meeting, who's the head of YouTube Music. If you're talking about taking things off YouTube, he wasn't at the meeting. When you look at some of the top streaming artists, they're rappers, you know, and we just found out, you know, one of the top, I was fascinated by one of the top streaming artists, a rapper named NBA Youngboy, does not even get any money from YouTube, from his song streaming on YouTube, which I was like, I could not believe
how his deal worked out. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's also the piece, right? It's this idea that like, oh, these videos are on there only because of the lawlessness of these black rappers using all this language. Not the question that, no, that's what actually is selling right now. And that it's these white executives that are putting money out to have these videos as well. And so that's unfortunate that you see that. And again, I think it is purposeful. It's purposeful. So because this is the double standard, I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to keep, okay. You're good.
Because this is the double standard episode, I know it's 7, but I did want to show one more video where just to expose the double standard even more. This time is the police. And this was a fight in a New Jersey mall. Uh-oh, what? Oh, that's John. Farouk thought they was coming through the door. Farouk thought they was coming through the office door. So, John, if you could cue that video up. And this was a fight in a mall, black person, white person in New Jersey. Let's get it.
Investigation is underway tonight into a brawl at a mall between 2 teenagers in New Jersey.
The focus is not on the fight itself, but rather how the officers handled it. And tonight, some are questioning whether the teens were treated differently by race. CBS 2's Corey James reports from Bridgewater.
This fight inside Bridgewater Commons Mall in New Jersey is sparking a firestorm of emotions. 2 teens seen throwing punches at each other appear to get 2 different responses from the officers who showed up. The other teenager seen sitting on a sofa while the black 8th grader had 2 officers kneel on his back to handcuff him.
I was confused, why they saw me as a bad person. Me as a aggressor.
14-year-old Kai, who asked that we not use his last name but wanted to share his story, says the fight broke out after he stood up for a friend who was getting picked on by the other teen. He says seeing video of the officers on top of him for nearly 30 seconds is scary and frustrating.
If they don't know how to treat the situation and deal with the situation equally and fairly, then they shouldn't be able to deal with the situation at all.
Kai's mom, Ebene, agrees.
Maybe they could have broken up the fight and maybe set them aside and call their parents. No cuffs, no aggression. Dealt with them like they were teenagers.
In a statement, the Bridgewater Police Department said in part, quote, "We recognize that this video has made members of our community upset and are calling for an internal affairs investigation. The officers were able to respond quickly to this incident and stop it from escalating because of a tip we received from the community," end quote.
Maybe that was
terrible. They are grateful for the support.
You can pause that, right? You can pause that, but you saw it for those, the police jumped on the young black kid. They actually sat the white kid down and was kind of consoling him. Like, you're going to be all right. We got this black menace off of you. You know what I'm saying? And handcuffed and kneeled on his neck and back and arrested the black child. Did not arrest the white kid, did not handcuff him, did not throw him down, nothing. So this is where I want kind of like the racists to jump in and determine how do you explain away this video? Clearly that was racism. Was it anything else?
No.
Miracle, can his parents do they have any legal recourse in this matter?
I mean, yeah.
We bind them all?
I hope not. I think you're gonna have to wait for the investigation. But I think I always like to talk about this is why anytime people quote crime statistics and talk about people being violent is always with the asterisk.
Yes.
Because you see 2 people fighting, he just tells the lady he attacked me. She immediately takes his side and goes. There is no y'all clear out. Okay, he's laying down. He's compliant. It is full on. And you see from the videos that everyone's like, oh, wow. The white dude is bullying the kid. He starts it. He makes the physical moves close to the black boy first, right?
Yeah.
Makes contact with the black boy first.
Pushes him.
Yes, the black boy swings first, but there are 3 specific steps that the Caucasian teen does as well, right? So we know from the video that he's the aggressor. Police don't know that. That's fine. Be with as it may. There's no reason for that level of aggression because the kid's down. Everybody has moved back. So immediately the threats for other people it's cleared. So it's literally you could just sit like how that white kid was sitting on the other kid could. And to know that that kid was apparently in handcuffs for like another 30 minutes while they had to go back and figure out what happened is even more problematic. And the fact that everyone there is like, yeah, why is he getting arrested? Of course, if you go back and listen, there is language in the video, people saying the N-word, but like, it was like, no, but this is a clear reminder of how bad the stats are when it comes to acts of violence and who gets a second chance and the benefit of the doubt.
Right. And I think too, like if it was one cop, you could say, okay, it was one cop. He just went to grab one of the kids. It's two police officers. Like, so literally like one cop could have grabbed each child, but it's two police officers. Both of them go to the black kid. Both of them handcuffed the black kid. There was no even, it was like they didn't even ask any questions. They just automatically assumed this white kid. They sat him down. They calmed him down. And so that was what's wild to me, that both cops jump on the black kid. But this reminds me of, remember the mall Karen, when she was just going all crazy and the black woman had to record her. He wasn't arrested. And this is that pattern, right? This is that same double standard of white people acting out, behaving crazily and not I don't even know if crazily is a word, and not feeling the brunt of the law. You had something, Trouble?
Yeah, I was going to say, if this is the level of aggression that you're meeting black children with, that you're not qualified for the job, but we live in America. So I feel like if this is the type of aggression you want to address black children with, then you more than qualify for the job, because 100%. This is white supremacy.
That's it. And you're right. Like, police studies say police often see black children as grown, as older, black people as older. Sometimes they'll see black women as men, and they often see white men as younger. You know what I'm saying? In different police studies, and less threatening. White people is less threatening. You had anything, Saeed?
Man, fuck them cops.
You going to space, bro? You taking when you have a child, you take your teenager to space, right?
Man, you know what makes me upset about that? They're trying to they got Space Force. They're trying to put cops in space.
Oh, that is true. That was Trump, man. That was
Big T. Big T was like,
trying to regulate it, right? So niggas can't go to space. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna regulate it up there. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So you have our white pages today.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. And this is a book by Tina and Kemp. It is called let me move my hand. It's called A Black Gaze, Artists Changing How We See. What's dope about this is it has a lot of pictures, so it's friendly for me because I can't read too. I don't know the words too good, right? But it's chronicling the tale of various black artists depicting pieces of black Americana. Some of them are very disturbing images of police brutality. Others are something that's super iconic, as Big freestyling in front of the bodega when he was 17 years old, right? Like so it's kind of like a bibliography of sorts. It's like a walkthrough of Black American life captured by black artists and black photographers. So yeah, it is Tina M. Kemp's A Black Gaze, Artists Changing How We See.
Got you. And then I think, man, maybe when we go to an in-person, because there's so much stuff that we didn't get into.
Man, I had so many jokes for this Trump shit, bro.
Trump stuffing things down the toilet and burning.
I had so many jokes.
And then we got, obviously, like the thing to do if you black and want to come up is go work for Elon Musk, because they just gonna call you nigga all day long, and then you can get a big payout.
Listen, if you tell me right now I go work for Elon, someone call me a nigga, I get 26 million. Sign me up,
bro.
No, first of all, no. Why not? How it works. First of all, no. This idea that like it's okay if you become a victim of police violence, you can just sue the police later, is not maybe not be racist. They didn't go to Elon Musk to be victims of racial discrimination. They went to Elon Musk to be a part of this grand
to get a job
innovation, and then were segregated.
But isn't that
monkeys and niggers, and went and had his work in a separate place called the Plantation.
Right, and Elon was kind of like toughen up, niggas. Like that's just the way it works over here. Like that was his
family. His family made money in emerald mines. I don't know.
He's South African, so he kind of is used to, I guess, apartheid.
But isn't that kind of what you're doing if you accept reparations?
No, first of all, I'm not. No one intentionally went to Elon Musk to undergo racial segregation and separation.
Farouk is going wearing a shirt that says
Number
"Call me
two,
nigga."
reparations is a financial apology for the things that have been done to you. We have not woken up and said white people be racist too.
But is it enough? That's what I'm saying.
It's not the same thing.
Well, let's
hold on. Getting damages and financial compensation for harm that has occurred is not you asking and requesting harm to happen to you.
No,
it is the
I'm not saying
of the harm doer. It is not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
no.
Not. So
reparations litigation is not the same. It's not the same as asking for
harm.
But
what if you get the reparations and the behavior of the oppressor doesn't change then?
Well, then you gotta allegedly go to war.
Or how about this? Maybe we
can get me caught up.
Maybe we can just go to Barbados and just let them do their thing. And I'll take my reparations to Barbados. I'll be on the beach. Y'all do y'all thing in America. You know, y'all do whatever.
But Talib Kweli said you can't be an island person and get reparations.
Who said that?
Talib Kweli said that.
A lot of people say a lot of things. At the end of the day, white supremacy
I don't believe that.
Expansive.
White supremacy is global. No, he wasn't. It was actually the opposite. Talib was against the ADOS movement. That's
okay. My bad. I apologize.
Miracle,
wait. I just want to point out. White supremacy is global. So there's nowhere on the planet Black people can go to be safe or white supremacy will not come after us.
That's true.
Okay. So if all the Black people today decide to go to Barbados, then they would attack Barbados. Think about Haiti. They have never allowed us to be. Think about Africa, the whole continent, and the colonization and destruction of Africa. So anyways.
Space.
But
we got to go to space, Miracle.
Space, I'm telling you.
So you have... Miracle, you have our call to action. Can you play our very important call to action? Can you talk about that?
Yes. Okay. So we know that 2022 Black History Month has been a struggle for a lot of us. And so we are coming together February 22nd, 2/22/22 at 2 on the Tuesday at the City County building to rally for Black lives. We have demands to support and invest in Black futures, to protect Black people, to stop killing Black trans people, to support and invest in our communities. We have organizations like Trans Uniting, Alliance for Police Accountability, the Black Lives Matter Southwestern, Pittsburgh and Southwestern PA, and other organizations are still signing on. And we're calling this a rally as a day, 2/22/22 at 2 will never happen again. And this is a rare moment for us to come in under alignment with our numbers, and just demand justice and equity and support for Black people with calls of actions communally for our local and state governments, as well as our federal governments. We have invited families who've been impacted by all levels of violence within this city and region to come out and speak. So come out, wear your mask. It'll be a little bit warmer on Tuesday. We know this is kicking off a week. We're back to marching, y'all. Get ready. 2020 is going to pale in comparison to the march and rallies that have happened. We're planning to take to the streets again succinctly coming up this year. So get ready, get your marching boots on. We are rallying.
Tie your Tim's tight.
We are rallying. We are chanting. We're coming together to build community and solidarity. 2 to 4, City County building, Tuesday, 2:00. Be there.
2 at 2. So shout out to that. And are we still going to IG, brother? Are you still want to try to?
Man, I'm hungry.
All right, so maybe we'll go later on. Maybe we'll go at some other time. Maybe sometime tomorrow because I'm hungry too. So nobody believes the game should have been except the game and Farouk. They're the only ones who believe the game should be at the Super Bowl. So anything else? Last words?
Yes. So it's about NBA YoungBoy not being able to monetize his YouTube account. People say, "What? How could that happen?" No worries, because next Thursday at 7 p.m. for Ask a Black Lawyer, we are talking with 3 lawyers about your contracts as artists, your IP law, your copyright law. So what should you be looking for when you're signing deals, when you're making merch? Don't worry about that. We got you. Come back here next Wednesday where we're talking to Jackie Walker, John Harris, and Brother Paul. We're going to talk about everything you need to know about contracts, copyright, and intellectual property.
Yes.
Back here at this platform Thursday at 7 p.m.
Yes, that's most important, particularly the whole NFT thing where they had all our music online. Artists need to know. But yeah, that blew me away that NBA Youngboy didn't get any money from YouTube and was like the #1 YouTube streamer artist. Get your contracts right. Come tune in to Ask a Black Lawyer. Last comments, last words.
Never lose sight.
Never lose sight.
This is how we do.
Justice for the game.
We'll see y'all next week. The game, yeah. They'll never
Peace.
be there. One hood, y'all.
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy